Are you a Jesus-loving woman who overexercises and deprives herself of food, desperately trying to obtain a goal weight on the scale? And yet, at the same time, you strive to be a healthy version of yourself by eating well and feeling fit? Hi, I'm Andrea, and I was running on the same hamster wheel for over 20 years. My toxic body image and eating disorder stole my joy and self-respect. Thankfully, God was always with me, fighting my battles and blessing me with the grit to reclaim my life. I'm off the hamster wheel, but I see you still stuck in the cage, and I want to help free you too. Journey with me every week. I'll share personal stories, tools, mindset shifts, and the practical steps I took to heal my unhealthy relationship with food and exercise. I don't believe food and exercise are the problems. I believe they're part of the solution. Instead, I'll teach you how your mindset and faith are the keys to healing. Get ready to navigate your newfound path to healing. Get ready to reclaim your self-worth. Get ready to realign with your God-given identity. For in this identity is where you find true wellness and healing. When you are well, your gifts shine into the world. Shine on, babe. Let's do this. I'm Andrea Carroll, and this is Good Vanilla. Hey, pretty peeps. I'm quickly popping in here before we get rolling to communicate that I am not giving medical advice. I'm giving energetic, emotional, and mental support for women on their health journeys. I'm here because I care. I hope sharing my story will in some way help you on your unique path. Okay, let's dive in. Hey, beautiful people. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I love this time of year. It currently, let's see, what is today's date? As I'm recording this, I think it is December 5th. I don't like winter. I don't like the cold. I like snow around Christmas time, but then that's about it. Once January rolls around, I want everything to melt and I want it to be 75 degrees. But regardless, I do love this time of year, and I know it's a struggle for a lot of you. There are so many expectations, so many people to see, so many things to bring us out of our comfort zone. But there is a way to get through this, and if you haven't yet, if you're new here, go back and listen to my episodes around triggers, because those will be very helpful in this holiday season. But I am so blessed because my family and I, we are actually going to be spending Christmas at Disney World. And another bonus is we're going to be there over my youngest daughter's birthday. She turns 5 on December 27th. And it's just going to be so much fun. I'm looking so much forward to it. But the honest truth is, this was not always the case for me years ago. Travel was very hard. It made me stressed out because I knew I was going to be out of control over the food and basically just losing control, right? I think that's one of the main things with an eating disorder is we want that control. We want to be able to control every situation, the spontaneity. It's rather boring, but I mean, it's safe, right? But like I said, that was then, so many years ago, I felt that way. I can still have moments now when there are still moments that it can be kind of tricky, but for the most part, I just look so forward to traveling. I've always loved traveling, even though it brought out a lot of anxiety in me around food and exercise. It was always like, well, what am I going to eat? How am I going to control what to eat? When am I going to exercise? And I was really losing the joy in what the purpose of the trip is. Like I wasn't getting everything out of it because I was focused on the wrong things. I want to help you focus on the right things. I have 5 ways to make your holiday travel more enjoyable. That is what I'm going to talk to you about today. So 5 ways. The first one is shift your expectations around food. We know that we won't have control over what is available while we're traveling. So before you leave, get your mindset right. Talk to yourself about it. Tell yourself that things are going to be different for this number of days, and that's going to be okay. Like you know that you're going to eat differently. What is available for you is going to be maybe not always your first choice, but you can handle that. But I think the main thing is setting yourself up for that expectation. Like remove the expectation of you are going to be able to control everything. I'm only putting this in my body. I'm only going to eat if this is available. You can't do that. So you need to shift your expectations around food. The second thing is plan for movement. And remember, it won't be the same you usually do, and that's okay. Once again, you can see a pattern here. When we step out of our comfort zone, when we are required to have spontaneity, that can be very challenging and I guess igniting a lot of anxiety for those with eating disorders. Just going with the flow. So you still movement, exercise. I have never been one to say that it is the root of all evil. You shouldn't be exercising. You should just be focusing on, eating and not moving your body. I'm never going to say that. You're never going to hear that from me. Movement is important for so many reasons. Exercise is important for so many reasons. For one, your mind, right? If you're supposed to be shifting your mindset, you have to have the mind that can handle that. And we have to be helping our minds by moving. So whether that's going for a walk, wherever you're going, be prepared. Find a walking route. So for example, I'm just going to kind of use Disney World as my example in these situations. So we do a lot of walking, obviously. So I know that I am going to be putting in a lot of steps. I'm not going to put this pressure on myself to do a scheduled, per se, workout. I'm doing like little quotations here. Years ago, I would have taken the shoes, the workout shoes and everything, and I would have made myself get that exercise, that workout in, because walking just isn't enough. And that was my mindset. It wasn't enough to earn or deserve the food I was eating down there. So we have to plan for movement. We have to shift our expectations. The third thing is have support in place. If you can, the optimal way here is to have someone to talk to when you feel those spiraling thoughts creeping in. It's just nice to have that person because you're in a situation already that's a little testing, because you're out of your comfort zone, you're out of your norm. It's okay to need that extra support. So if you have a friend or a family member, it doesn't even have to be someone that's there with you. You can call a friend. You can, if you're at someone's house on this Christmas and something is really making you feel down, go to a quiet corner and call a friend. Go for a walk and call a friend. Someone you trust. It's one of those things where that outside person can reprioritize what is happening and kind of bring the logic into the situation. Because, for example, I always use my husband. He's my support. So if for some reason, all of a sudden, down at Disney, I'm just thinking, oh, good grief, I'm starting to feel panicked, like I've had cookies and ice cream and we're eating sausage and all these, these buffets and all this wonderful, delicious food, but heaven forbid I just enjoy it. No, I have to be miserable about it. So I will bring that up to him and he'll just kind of be like, hey, you're going to be okay. This is for a few days. What you do over the few days is not going to undo the rest of your life. Like it's impossible. It's impossible that what you're doing over these few days is going to somehow become a habit, become the norm. And it's kind of funny then, because then it's like, yeah, you're right. There's no way I'm going to go home and just continue this eating train, this marathon of food. So that leads into my next point. Number 4 is it's temporary. The situation you're in, where you are visiting, if it's a family member's house, if you are going somewhere travel, like if you're flying somewhere, it is temporary. It's only going to be for a number of days, a handful of days. And that leads into number 5. Because it's temporary, number 5 is soak up each moment. Mentally be there rather than living in an anxious mind. So often we miss our lives. I really feel like when I was in the thick of my eating disorder, I think of all what was wasted. All the time that I spent thinking about, like, just living in my head. I know so many of you do it. If you have an eating disorder, you're in your head 24/7, and it's not nice. It's not nice thinking. It's abusive. And you're missing out on what's going on around you. So I have a pact. I have a pact to myself that when I'm down at Disney World with my family, these are memories. This is magic. These are memories for the rest of my life and the rest of my daughters' lives. This is precious time. You better believe I'm going to do everything in my power to get out of my head and be in the moment with them. To watch them and just live in the joy with them. It's always the simplest little things too. Just watching them holding hands, walking, and just laughing and actually laughing with them. Like not just playing along, like laughing with them and just being there with them, soaking up the moment. Can you do the same for yourself, friend? Can you promise me that this holiday season, that you can set yourself up in a way that you won't waste, it won't be time wasted, that it'll be memories made, ones that you want to think back on and remember? Okay, if you need to jot these down, so step 1, you're going to shift your expectations around food. Step 2, you're going to plan for movement. And it's going to be something, a lot of times too, you can incorporate someone else, invite someone else along. Because maybe when you're walking and having that, when on a walk, then you can go right into step 3. You could be walking with someone supportive, and you can just kind of tell them how you're feeling. And they can be that support for you. Speak some life into you, speak some truth over you, and snap you back into the belief of, I need to get out of my head and I need to start living and absorbing and interacting with those around me, because I'm missing out. I don't want you to miss out. So have that support in place. Number 4, know it's temporary. That is like one of the biggest things I always tell myself. This is not forever. You can do this for 10 days, 2 days, 3 days, whatever. It could be for the month. I don't know. It seems like a long time, but you can do this. And then number 5 is soak up each moment. Please soak up each moment. It'll feel so good. And then when you do, it's something that is a critical step in the healing process, I think, where you start feeling alive when you're soaking up those moments, because so often we lose those pieces of ourselves, that joy and that passion. We lose it. So if you can find a way to be present and soak up the moment with those around you and whatever you're doing this holiday season, it'll give you life. Okay, friend? Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I cannot wait to talk to you next week. Bye. Psst. Hey girl, I gotta tell you something. Did you know your eating disorder is keeping secrets from you? Yeah, it's a total butthead. But don't worry, I'm here for you. In fact, I created a freebie for you to download. It's the 4 secrets your eating disorder doesn't want you to know. And these are 4 things that I wish I would have known years ago, back when I felt like I just could not get my head above the water, no matter how hard I tried. I felt like wave after wave was crashing on me. These are the secrets that have really set me free, knowing these truths about myself. And they are things your eating disorder is trying to keep from you so it can keep control over you. Don't stay in the dark, friend. The link is in the show notes. Go download it now. Go download it now and start working through it and feel yourself free. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. If this episode resonated with you or helped you in any way, please tell me how. Email me at hello@andreacaro.com. That's HELLO@ANDREACAROW.com. Also, if there's a specific topic around eating disorders and body image you'd like to hear an episode on, let me know. Your voice deserves to be heard, and I'm here to listen. If you'd like to hear more from me, follow me on Instagram at Andrea_Caro. Friend, please help others like you by sharing this episode and leaving me a review on Apple Podcast. Doing so will help me reach others who so desperately need this message of hope. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.